In the recent time periods, we have come across a couple of news articles and things stating that people who have borrowed money for the purpose of investment in shares have gone into loan traps, debt traps, and some of them are also facing cases in the court of law because they are not able to repay. So, when the repayment capacity is not existing, then that the problem happens that the person, the borrower, will face issues ahead and he is not able to actually make the repayments. A question would arise is how come these people who are actually using this money for the purpose of share trading or for the purpose of certain things which are not having a guarantee of getting money from, how come they got the loans? The thing is that they did not get the loans from the normal banking channels. They got the loans from the other finance institutions, non-banking financial corporations, or even from friends and family, where they got easy borrowings, unsecured borrowings, quick borrowings, and so they could use this money for the purposes they intended for without actually showing any documentary evidences and proof to the borrower. But when the time of repayment came, of course, if you find that there are transactions which are happening in a business fails, or any type of transactions where you had invested money, you're not able to get back the money back, you're not able to get the money back, then you will fall in what we call as a loan trap or a debt trap. So it's the debt trap that happens is basically because of easy borrowings and hard lessons that we learn from them. So what we are going to understand in this particular video is basically what are the mistakes that are done in the borrowings. Then a quiz we are going to take on loan traps or debt traps. Whether you are stuck up in a loan trap or not, you'll understand if you take this quiz. And third important thing that we're going to see is how to get out of this particular loan trap. So in case you're stuck in loans, you don't know what you're doing, either you have taken the loans in the correct format, you're facing liquidity crisis, whatever the case may be, you will have an understanding of how to get out of this particular loan trap. One important thing to remember is that when you're talking of the borrowings, we have to first understand is what could be the possible mistakes that you make in borrowings. The first mistake that you make in borrowing is borrowing for the purpose of lifestyle. We're going to see each of these in detail ahead. Second one is business borrowing. Now you would say why business borrowing is a problem or a mistake. That also we'll see how. Third one is trading related borrowings. That means share trading, F&O trading, and all such cases you borrow money for that. And lastly, we will see borrowings for the purpose of repayment. So what is this? This also we are going to discuss ahead. The first thing, let us see if we are talking about the mistake in borrowing in terms of borrowing for lifestyle. Let's suppose you want to buy a car. Let's say it's a BMW 5 Series, which normally costs around 73 lakhs as such. So let's take that price assumption of 73 lakhs. Now, in this case, you would say, why can't I take this particular BMW 5 Series? Now, let's see, EMI for this particular car would go up to, let's say, 1,40,000 per month. Salary that you're getting in hand is around 1.8 lakhs. This is what is the salary. So, in such a case, do you think you should be borrowing for the purpose of this lifestyle upgradation of buying a BMW 5 Series? Now, in a tempo of happiness that, okay, I'm getting a salary of 1.8 lakhs and I want to show off and I want to do everything possible, I might just go for the purpose of purchase of this car. But remember, it comes at a number of costs. One important thing is when you upgrade to a lifestyle. Now, let's say you are in a BMW. What is the amount that is in hand, left in hand is in this case is just 40,000 per month, right? In your hand, you have just 40,000 per month, bare minimum to meet your expenses. The person who is driving a BMW should also have an equivalent lifestyle in other areas of his life, isn't it? You have branded clothing, you have branded watches, you have to have maybe jewelry, whichever is compensating with that particular dress or that clothing that you're wearing. You have to have the mobile phone which matches with a BMW and so on. So what happens is just having a car, which is a BMW 5, will not suffice. So obviously, with this car, you may find, okay, you're driving a BMW and you have upgraded your lifestyle. But what about the other areas? So my suggestion would obviously be your car or the purchase of anything which upgrades your lifestyle should be just sufficient enough in which fits into your income bracket. So if I am talking about a car and a car EMI, I would say that this car EMI should be such that you can repay off this total amount of car within the next 6 months. So if your salary is not equivalent to that amount, don't take an EMI and don't borrow for this particular purpose. So in this case, where let's say your average salary, I'm just taking 2 lakhs round figure that you get net in hand, then for 5 months, 10 lakh rupees is what will be in your hand. So The car that you buy right now should not be more than 10 lakh rupees. This you have to keep in mind. So if you're making a mistake of buying a car or buying any lifestyle product which is having a huge impact on your profits or your salary, you should not do it. So how much should be your car EMI? The base thing that you have to remember is within 6 months, you should be able to repay off this entire amount. 5 or 6 months. So if you're not able to do it, don't buy it. So if you're buying a BMW car of 80 lakhs in within the time period of 5 months, you should be able to repay off 80 lakhs. Only then you are eligible according to my suggestion. Second thing that you need to remember when you're talking of mistakes in borrowing is we are talking of business borrowing. Now you would say business borrowing, why am I talking about business borrowing as a mistake, right? You may feel confused. So in this case, sometimes you buy or rather you take on a loan in a case of a business without understanding that you don't have equivalent amount of profits. So compensated profit should be there. Profit should be of that level such that you will be able to repay the EMI that you have on the business borrowing. Secondly, you cannot buy assets which are not required. You should not buy them. If you're buying assets, you're buying things for a business which is not needed, not required at that stage of the business, then you shouldn't do it. Like if you already have a machinery which is installed in your business with a sufficient capacity with production, whatever is happening, and you just aim at, okay, I want to expand. Just because you feel like expanding, you should not buy another machine. You should have sufficient orders in hand, sales that can happen in the near future. Only then you should upgrade. So upgradation of a business is the right way, but when you do it at a wrong timing, you will fall in what is the loan trap because you won't have the profits to repay back the money, right? So this is an important thing to remember. Next mistake that people make is trading related borrowings. As I told you in the beginning, futures and option trading, it could be relating to share trading, day trading that people do in terms of the share market. So they make this mistake, right? So share trading, the study of the share market is very essential. If you don't have the proper and through study of the share market, you will fall in problems, you will get into losses, and nobody till date is actually able to predict accurately exactly what is going to happen as the next step in the share market. So if you're in the, like you can say, in that particular understanding that, okay, I am going to get this kind of thing like 21 din mein paisa double. You must have seen that movie in Fir Hera Fairy. He feels that, okay, within 21 days, my entire money will be double and I'll be having a huge amount in hand. And so I should go for this borrowing. He also goes and like creates this temptation in the mind of other people who also lend him money. So if this kind of thing happens, what happens at the end is basically you will fall in a loan trap. You have taken money from people. You have invested the money somewhere where you feel that, okay, within a short time of span, you will get the money doubled or maybe tripled or whatever the case is. But actually investments are not made like this and the money is not doubled in such Ponzi schemes. So you should be aware that trading related borrowing should be completely avoided. You have to trade or invest money in the stock market, stock exchange only to the extent of what you have in hand. And that also, if you're willing to invest for long term or you're willing to lose, only then you go for the investments. Next, coming to another important thing is borrowing for repayment. Now, some people have this bad habit, specifically in India, where there is no special verification that can be done in terms of the next loan that is taken. So, or specifically in terms of credit card. So, one bank gives you a credit card, you take a lot of loan on it, you or make some purchases where you can repay it back in terms of EMI, and then when the time comes to make the payment, oh my God, I don't have the money. So now what to do? Take another credit card. So this is what happens in many cases. Or if you have a loan and you don't have the capacity to repay, what you do? Go for another loan. Take the loan for repaying the first loan. So the second loan comes in the format of repayment of the first loan. What is happening now? First loan repayment has happened partially. The second loan also is a burden on you now. And sometimes when you borrow in the second type of loan, that could be a personal loan, expensive interest rates on it. And so you keep going into what we call as the loan trap. So now we are going to take a loan trap quiz. Let's see how it goes. Now, what you're supposed to do is you have to pick up A, B, C for that particular question. So if your answer is A, then pick up the A. If your answer is B, then pick up the B. And if your answer is C, then pick up C. And then take up the computation, like you can say the total A's that you have, total B's that you have, or the total C's that you have. Let's see the first question. What is the type of loan that comprises most of your borrowing? Let's say the first one, business loan, home loan, education loan. If this is your answer, write down A as the first answer. Car or personal loan. So if that is there, then write B. C will be credit card debts. So this is your first question. Whatever your answer is, just jot it down. Second question is, how often do you default in credit card payments or rollover balance that you're actually carrying down the credit card balance to the next month? If answer is A, never, B is occasionally, and C is next each month. Next question is, does a plan exist to pay off your debt in a certain time frame? So do you have a plan ready? If your answer is clear plan ready, then A. Thinking of a plan, then B. And no, not sure of how and when I can pay it off, then the answer you jot down is C. Next question will be, next question will be, loan is taken for what purpose? A is improving income, getting asset, or for education. B is for lifestyle purpose, and C is for purpose not so important. So it is doesn't cover the first two also. Or maybe it's like just for repaying another loan or such types. And finally, is your EMI improving your financial situation or increasing your expenses? If your answer is yes, building assets, then A. Not useful but not harmful, then B. Adding expenses and not improving lifestyle or net worth, then the answer is C. Now, when you select mostly A's, then you are in full control of your borrowings and currently you're not moving towards any problems. If you select mostly B's, then you need to review your borrowings and try to stop further borrowings and repay current ones. Otherwise, you are going to land in a debt trap. And C's, if you have selected mostly the C's, then yes, you are a reckless borrower and definitely you're going to fall into what we call as a debt trap if no quick and timely action is taken. So be careful if you have selected mostly the C's. Next important thing that we need to understand is how to get out of this loan trap. Now, we don't want to stay stuck there forever, right? So you will have to take up some steps to get out of this trap. The first important step is what we call as the snowball effect. Now, you may be having 10 loans, let's say, in hand. What you are supposed to do is start with the lowest loan. So just to find more encouragement, start with the smallest loan that you have, repay it off. And as you go further, you will repay more and more higher amounts of the loan. So if your loan is, let's say, 1 lakh, 6 lakhs, 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs, these are the loans that you have. Then you start with the 1 lakh worth of loan, repay it off. So you know, okay, one loan is closed. So you have a better impact on your mental state and you start feeling encouraged to make the repayment. So start from the smallest and then go towards the biggest amount of loan that you have. Then what we have is the avalanche method. Avalanche method would be where you list out your loans, right? And try and find out which loan you're supposed to pay the highest amount of interest. So the biggest damage causing loan that you have will be the loan which is having the highest amount of interest, the amount which you have to pay very high every month. So list it out and then you will find out what loan has the highest EMI or the highest interest also, whatever the case is. And that particular loan you concentrate on and try to repay it off as soon as possible so that your pocket is not burnt out quickly because of repayment of higher amount of interest. Then important thing is you may have to reconsider the loans that you have taken. Now, sometimes there may be loans which you have taken as personal loans. They may be taken as other loans which are having high amount of interest. So then you can reconsider them and try to take the loan in terms of loan against property if that is possible. So these may have a lower amount of interest. So what you do, you close down the high interest causing loan and then replace it with a loan which is having a lower amount of interest or a lower EMI, and then start paying this off as soon as possible whenever the because you are now come out of that bigger amount of loan and this amount of loan will be smaller in terms of interest also that you are supposed to pay. Interest should not be very big. Then comes combine your loans. Now, sometimes what happens, people have scattered loans, 10 different banks, 10 different loans have been taken. If that is the case, the best way, because, managing them also mentally also it's exhausting if you have 10 different loans. So what you can do is approach one financial institution or one bank and ask them to transfer the loans from other banks to them. One single loan you take from them, close all the other loans, and then continue the loan with that one particular financial institution. And of course, they should be giving you the best of best deal. So try to combine your loans and try to get rid of 20 different loans which you are having in hand. And finally, talk to experts. So basically, if you are having more queries on such issues relating to your debt trap, loan trap, go to experts who can actually free you. Go to experts who can actually free you out of this debt trap. So there are consultants available, and probably if you're talking of chartered accountants, your financial consultants, your investment consultants, they will definitely guide you in terms of how to get out of the loan trap, right? So your cash flow management can be done well and you will be easily coming out of this particular problem. So hope this video helps you in not getting into a debt trap first thing. And if you are in a debt trap, how to come out of this debt trap, you can have some tips relating to it and free yourself from the loan baggage that you're holding. like this particular video, do share it with the people who may find it useful. And just in case you haven't joined the journey of Commerce Gyan, do subscribe to our channel, and hope to see you in the next video of Commerce Gyan with more such information. Thank you.